We can paint the world a beautiful picture, holding out for everyone to view.
Tonight we're going to work in our note packet just for a very short time, and we're just going to take notes on the three forms of linear equations. Slope-intercept is what we have been working with pretty much exclusively up until this point, so that one you should be pretty familiar with. That is y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. Point slope form, which coincidentally comes right from the formula for slope, which is my change in y over my change in x. If you think about this as being cross-multiplied, I get the equation of my point slope form, which is y2 minus y1 equals slope times the quantity x2 minus x1. And standard form is ax plus by equals c. And we talked about these a little bit when we did functions. Okay, if you're strictly asked in general terms to write the equation of a line, any of the above could be used. But sometimes you're asked to express it in a certain form. So that's why you need to be familiar with all of them. And sometimes one of them is more convenient to use than another. So let's take a look at the first example. It asks you to write the equation given that the slope of a line is -3 and it passes through a point. So let's try using point slope to plug it in. Well, I'm going to plug in just general coordinate xy for my y2, and then I'm going to use this coordinate for my y1 and x1. So I would get y minus 4 equals slope, which is -3, times the quantity x2. I'm going to use the general coordinate x plus 2. And then I would simplify that to y minus 4 equals -3x minus 6, and I would move my coordinates, or my constant, to the other side. So y equals -3x minus 2. Now, to put that in standard form, it's basically a literal equation. You're kind of moving stuff around. Here I solved for y. Now I want to put the 3x back on the other side. So I would say 3x plus y equals -2. So as you can see, this is pretty straightforward. I'd like you to go to your classwork packet now, this packet, and to this page, Three Forms of Equations of Lines. And basically this is just showing you how you can manipulate the three different forms of the equation of the line to be whatever you would want them to be. So the first example, we can clearly see the y-intercept, so I know b equals 4. And since this point, -4, 0, is also on the line, I know my slope is 1. So the slope is 1, and y equals x plus 4. Then to write that in point slope, I would have to locate a point on the line. So I see the point 3, 7 pretty clearly. It's hard to see on this, but hopefully your paper copy is better. And so I could, using the point 3, 7, I would write y minus 7 equals 1 times the quantity x minus 3. And no, you don't have to have the 1 there. So in standard form, that would just be x minus y equals 4. And if you decided to put the x on the other side, that would be fine too. So you would have, let's see, -x plus y equals 4. Is that right? Something's got to be wrong there. Hang on. Yeah, so this one would be a -4. Sorry about that. All right, so let's take a look at another one of the problems, and then I will set you off. You can do this on your own. You don't have to stick with me here if you know what you're doing. So I'm just going to go to number 3, and if you want to come back and check, that'll be fine. And then I will have the answer key posted for you. So looking at, why don't I do a different one, because we just did one like that. Let's go to the second page. Or the back for you guys, whichever the case may be. And I'm going to take, let's take number 5 since we didn't do one like that. This is basically just moving it around, okay? So I can pick any point on the line, and I hope that, oh, this hasn't been graphed for you, so you would want to graph it. So in order to graph it, I'm probably going to put it into slope-intercept form. So I would solve for y. So I would get 2y equals negative 3x plus 6. And then y equals negative 3 halves x plus 3. And then I already have that worked out for me. And I can go ahead and plot that. So I would plot my y-intercept, and then I would plot some points. Okay, my slope is negative 3, 2. And so negative 3, 2. And then I would just draw a line there. Okay, so that's what the examples, they give you the lines, so they want you to plot them. Okay, and I got a little excessive with my line going through there, but it's not liking that very much. So put some arrows on there, and then just choose a point on the line, which I could pick the point. It's not liking this very much. 2, 0. And so I could say y minus 0 equals negative 3 halves times the quantity x minus 2, and I'm good to go. Okay, so now I can put my arrows since I got my pen back. All right, so you can finish those up, and I would also like you to do this sheet that follows on the equations of lines just for a little extra practice. It shouldn't take you too long, and I'll have the answer keys up so that you can just check your work. Have a great evening.